Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This time we're tackling something that, honestly, we all kind of put off thinking about until it's crunch time: how to nail those tricky conversations at the doctor's office in English.
It's true. Nobody really wants to think about being sick, but hey, being able to explain what's going on clearly can seriously make a difference in getting the right help.
Big time. And whether you're traveling abroad, helping out a loved one, or just want to feel like you're really in control at your next checkup, this deep dive is going to give you the tools you need to be confident and understood.
I love that being understood. That's the key, isn't it?
Totally. So we're going to break it down into three parts. First, we'll load you up with some super useful vocabulary. Not just the basic stuff, but words that really help you paint a clear picture of what you're experiencing.
Because let's face it, pain can mean a million different things.
Exactly. Then we'll move on to some power phrases that are like communication gold in a medical setting. We'll categorize them by what you're trying to do, whether it's checking in, explaining those symptoms, asking about treatment, or making sure you're crystal clear on the next steps.
And to wrap it all up, we'll put all these tools into action with a real-world scenario so you can hear how it all flows naturally.
It's like practice, but without the actual doctor's office nerves.
Exactly. I'm excited to dive into this. It's amazing how a few well-chosen phrases can totally change your experience.
Okay, let's get started. So when we talk about how we feel, we often reach for those general words like pain or ache. But using more precise terms can actually make a huge difference in helping the doctor figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. Like, instead of just saying, my stomach hurts, which we've all done,
Yeah.
try to be more specific. Is it a sharp pain? Is it kind of a dull ache? Is it burning? Is it cramping? Those little details can give the doctor some really valuable clues.
That's so true. It's like giving them a more complete map of what's happening inside.
Yes. It's like you're painting a picture with your words.
I love that. So instead of just saying, I have a headache, we could say something like, I have this throbbing pain behind my eyes, or it feels like there's a tight band around my head.
Exactly. And don't shy away from those super descriptive words like nauseous instead of just sick, or tingling instead of just numb.
I'm already feeling more confident about explaining myself just hearing those examples. It's like having a secret decoder ring for the doctor's office.
And speaking of secret language, there are some key phrases you can use that'll really help you communicate clearly and even take charge of your healthcare, which is so important.
I love that, taking charge. It's like we're on a mission to understand our own bodies.
Exactly. So let's say you're trying to explain a symptom that comes and goes. Instead of just saying it hurts sometimes, you could try something like, the pain is intermittent, or it comes in waves.
Oh, that sounds so much more professional.
Yeah.
And it probably helps the doctor get a better sense of the pattern, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're ever struggling to describe a feeling, don't worry. You can always use comparisons. Like you could say, it feels like butterflies in my stomach, or my head feels like it's in a vice.
Oh, those are great examples. It's like using those metaphors to bridge the communication gap. I'm already feeling like I could handle anything.
That's the spirit. And honestly, the more comfortable you are with the language, the more confident you'll feel about advocating for your own health.
Which is what it's all about.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our vocabulary and phrases down. Now I'm really curious to see how this all plays out in a real doctor's appointment. Let's move on to part 2 and walk through that scenario. All right, so we've got our vocabulary and phrases all ready to go. Now I'm really curious to see how this all comes together in a real appointment.
Me too. Let's imagine for a second you're in the exam room waiting for the doctor to come in. What's going through your mind? How are you feeling?
Okay. I'm probably a little nervous, to be honest. But also, I'm trying to remember all those great phrases we just talked about. Like, what do I even say when the doctor walks in the door?
That's such a good question. And it's actually simpler than you might think. Remember, the doctor's there to help you. So they'll usually start with a friendly greeting and something like, what brings you in today? Or, how can I help you?
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So then it's my turn to explain what's going on. And this is where all those descriptive words we talked about come in, right?
Exactly. Think back to those specific terms. So instead of just saying, I have a stomach ache, you could say something like, I've been having these sharp cramping pains in my lower abdomen for the past few days.
Wow, yeah. That sounds so much more informative. I can already see how that would help the doctor narrow things down.
For sure. And remember those time markers we talked about? Those are really important too, to give the doctor a clear timeline. You could add, the pain started on Tuesday evening, and it seems to be worse after I eat.
Those time markers are so smart. It's like giving them a puzzle piece
Mm.
to help figure everything out.
Exactly, you got it. And don't forget about any other symptoms you might be having, even if they seem totally unrelated. Sometimes even the little things can be important.
So, like, if I also had a headache and was feeling dizzy, I should mention that too, even though my main problem is my stomach.
Yes. You never know what could be connected. It's always better to give them all the information and let them decide what's relevant.
Okay, that actually makes me feel a lot better. I was worried about giving them too much information and overwhelming them.
I get that, but doctors are trained to sort through information and look for patterns. They actually appreciate patients who are really thorough and pay attention to what's happening in their bodies.
That's good to know. Now, what about asking questions? I know it's so important to be involved in my own healthcare, but sometimes I feel a little weird interrupting the doctor.
I totally hear that. It's a common concern. But remember, doctors want you to understand what's going on and feel comfortable with your treatment plan. Asking questions just shows that you're engaged, not that you're being rude.
Okay, that makes sense. So how can I ask questions in a way that's polite and respectful?
There are some really simple phrases that can help with that. Like if you didn't understand something the doctor said, you could say, "Could you explain that again, please?" Or, "Can you clarify what you mean by?"
Oh, those are easy to remember. They definitely sound polite. What about if I want to know more about what might be causing my symptoms?
You could try something like, "Do you have any ideas about what might be causing this?" Or, "Are there any common conditions that could explain these symptoms?"
Those are great examples. It's like having a cheat sheet for talking to my doctor.
Exactly. And remember, there are no silly questions when it comes to your health. It's your body. You have the right to understand what's going on.
I love that. It's so empowering to think about it that way. But what if the doctor suggests a treatment or a test that I'm not really comfortable with?
That's the perfect time to use those assertive but respectful phrases we were talking about earlier. You could say, "I'm a little hesitant about that. Could you tell me more about the risks and benefits?" Or, "Are there any other options we could consider?"
Oh, those are super helpful. I really like the one about other options. It opens up the conversation without sounding like you're arguing.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance, being assertive, but also maintaining a good relationship with your doctor. You're a team, working together to figure out the best way to take care of your health.
I'm really starting to see how these communication skills can make a huge difference, not just at the doctor's office, but everywhere. It's about feeling empowered to ask questions, say what you need, and stand up for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's something you can keep practicing and getting better at over time. The more you use these tools, the more natural and confident you'll become.
As we were going through that whole appointment scenario just now, I realized there's another layer to this too. Like, it's not just about the words.
Right. Oh, you're so right. Nonverbal communication is huge. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. Eye contact, your tone of voice, even how you're sitting, all of that sends a message.
Yeah, like if you're all hunched over and avoiding eye contact, the doctor might think you're not really listening or that you're not being totally honest about something.
Exactly. But if you're sitting up straight, looking them in the eye, speaking clearly and calmly, that shows you're confident and you can be trusted. It tells them you're taking your health seriously and you want to be part of the conversation.
And it's not just the physical stuff either. Active listening, that's got to be important too.
Oh, for sure. Active listening means really focusing on what the doctor's saying, asking questions to make sure you understand, and even kind of repeating back what you heard to check.
So it's not just nodding along and hoping for the best?
Nope. You want to really engage with the information and make sure you're both on the same page. You can use phrases like, "Okay, so I understand you're recommending," or just to clarify, "You're saying." It shows you're paying attention and helps avoid any mix-up.
It's like you're building this bridge of communication one piece at a time.
Perfect analogy. And each piece is important. The words you use, your tone of voice, your body language, how well you listen, it all fits together.
This has been such a helpful deep dive. I honestly feel like I have a whole new understanding of how to communicate better, not just at the doctor's office, but everywhere.
Me too. And the best part is, these are skills you can keep working on and get better at over time. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll become.
So to wrap things up, what's the one thing you really want our listeners to take away from this?
I'd say it's this. Being able to communicate clearly, it's like having a superpower. It lets you advocate for your own health, build strong relationships, and navigate any situation with confidence.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
And remember, even small changes in how you communicate can make a big difference. So keep practicing, keep learning, and keep exploring the amazing world of language.
And don't forget to keep diving deep with us. We'll be back with another deep dive soon. Until then, take care, everyone.